Hey everybody, this is Dr. J Spike and Kamal Swing Live from Long Island, New York, where the weather is
Uh,
but Wall Street was
is that right? Wall Street was
now Wall Street was, like changeable like the weather today. The early morning, I think we got off to a slow start with the averages pretty negative,
yep.
and it gained throughout the day. So I think there's a lot to celebrate. The numbers today were much better than the numbers yesterday. For PPI was better than CPI. So that showed
Right.
a little bit.
The PPI went in under, even though the CPI went in over.
Hmm.
I don't know what the implication of that is really.
Well, I think it's the service sector that's the problem with
Ah,
inflation.
okay.
And people also vacationing a lot and
All right.
spending on events. Event spending is big. There's still a problem with rentals. I don't remember what other numbers were high on the CPI, but
Okay.
um, yeah, we have an ebullient economy apparently.
Ebullient. Love
Ebullient.
that word. I am never ebullient.
You're always ebullient. Look at the shirt you're wearing. That says
Just because I smile. This
the
is
shirt.
laugh clown laugh.
The shirt you're wearing says "I'm ebullient" today. And Kamal is even smiling. You
Okay.
see
I
what
smile
you
a
see
lot.
what
I don't speak. I just smile.
you see what green
Exactly.
you see what a little green does to people?
Little green,
A little
little green
green,
fairy dust.
little green on the screen. Bitcoin was flat today, but
Uh,
I'm very bullish Bitcoin because not only because they're having in like 9 days. I think the 20th is the approximate date. But also because of the wirehouses, I believe we're going to approve the ETFs for trading. Right now you cannot buy IBIT or ARCB or any of them through Merrill or Wells Fargo or
I see.
Morgan Stanley. The big wirehouses, forget it. You can't buy it. But once they allow that to happen, which I think they have to, I think that'll be a shot in the arm for the ETFs and also for Bitcoin.
That would stand to reason.
And of course, the halving is going to be. I don't think it's priced in.
It may very well be a nothing burger for everybody except the miners.
Well, the mine is going to be hurt.
Yeah, but the rest of them, I mean, the price of the price of the commodity is not going to. I don't think that'll be impacted.
Yeah, but isn't there something called supply and demand? If the supply is cut in half, doesn't the demand cause if it
The
stays
price
the
up,
same, it causes the price to go up?
right?
Well, it doesn't affect the overall. I guess yeah, the
It's
overall market supply will. Yeah, okay, that's true. All
in,
right,
in effect,
it might actually help the market value.
if I remember economics from, let's see, 55 years ago.
Yes, if supply goes down, then price goes up.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an inelastic supply, that will cause the price to go up. And
Okay.
that's exactly what we have, an inelastic supply. We were mining 900 Bitcoins a day. That's going to go to 450 overnight.
I don't believe that.
Well, it's in the algorithm.
No, I know it's in the algorithm. But it's also in the productivity. You keep forgetting Moore's law, and you teach it every. You teach
Yeah,
it.
but they're not going to make improvements in the speed. The quantum computers aren't around the corner. Maybe they are, but they're not. They're not going to be synonymous with the day of the halving.
Well, but there is something called the learning curve.
You can't increase the speed of that algorithm unless you have quantum computing.
Okay. I'll back off my argument for a while till we actually see the price.
I don't even know that quantum computing would matter much.
Yeah,
Because
quantum computing at this point is really just an overall concept. It's not. I don't think it's going to reach the bottom line for quite a while yet.
isn't it true that it's only really powerful for algorithms that can be done in parallel, in effect?
That's a good question. I guess it depends on how you program it.
Yeah, well, in any event,
Because the whole idea is that if there is this kind of interconnection, parallelization is really possible when one thing has nothing to do with each other. But here, if you're doing it simultaneously and you're still maintaining the correlations, you could probably do
right,
it.
right. The classic problem that they say is much more readily solved by quantum computing is your traveling salesman problem, where you can look at many pads at the same time.
Yes, and you could also take different regions and do them in parallel.
Yeah, so that would be like a typical example of when quantum computing is beneficial.
Right, because that's where the correlations are anyway. I mean, like if you think about the traveling, well,
Just anyway, explain what the traveling salesman problem is, because a lot of people don't know.
well, the basic idea is that you want to find one path that goes through a bunch of cities without repeating the same city twice, because that's a waste of money.
And
So what
minimize,
you do is you meander your way around the country, and then ultimately you have to come back where you came from. So
but aren't you
the basic
also?
idea, though, is geographically, though, you're still going to hang around like the southeast for a little while, and then meander towards the northeast, then meander. So you're still doing that kind of thing. So conceivably, you can solve the West Coast and East Coast independently of each other, and then put the two together later on.
Right, but you left out one important piece. It's a maximization problem. You have to minimize the
Right.
files.
The total amount of traveling you do. Right.
Yeah, minimize the amount.
But you still have to visit everybody. So, there's just so much you can minimize.
Yeah, but that's the objective. What's the minimal path?
Right. So every now and then, if it's geographical, it's a non-issue. It's when you have these kinds of weird cost structures where something close might be very expensive, but something far apart might be very cheap, and so you have this incentive of like flying across the country in one leg.
We got to tell our viewers not to go away. We're not going to talk forever about
Yeah,
it.
we're done with this. Exactly. We're gonna have a
I was
special
just
session
going to
on
go away. I was just going to go away. Myself.
Yeah, you were going to.
this. Right. We can tell by how Kamal's eyes are glazing over that. This is not a fun argument.
Yesterday we were on, Kamal and me and Arjan, and I called the SPY for possibly bottoming at a little bit below where it was low yesterday. And I think that's what happened today. I called for what did I say it would be? 511 and change, or 512. I thought would be a good bottom. And if not, I was looking at 508. So I think we may have bottomed on SPY. Let's take a look.
Sure.
Also, I want to go through Apple, please.
Sure.
Yeah. And let's see. Actually, I wouldn't mind looking at SoundHound.
Sure. I added some Palo Alto networks there.
Did you?
Yeah. I also added some Apple and I started a position in Tesla.
Oh, okay. Where's Tesla now?
I now own every single one of those Mag 7s, at least some number of shares.
It's interesting that there was an official downgrade, I think, in Tesla, and that's when you decide to get in. It's very contrarian of you.
Even though I suspect there's a very good chance they're going to have a miss on their numbers for the first quarter. I'm happy to hear about the robo taxis, and that's what did it for me.
Gotcha.
So if other people are thinking along the same lines, I think Tesla will be up from here, even with missing it on a couple of quarters. Are we forming, are we forming what looks like a downward channel a little bit?
Or at least a flat channel, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't call it a downward channel. It looks like it's stabilizing. You know, it's going up and down, up and down.
Yeah. It's more like a flag. But what I saw yesterday was this low at 508 and this low at 511.12. I basically said this should hold 511.12, if not the 508. And now, after looking at the action today, I think we've seen a near-term bottom for the spiders. So I think it's up from here, back into this main channel. So I look for a good rally to about 5.25 retest of that area. So I see good things for the SPY and the overall market. We get a retest up here, 524.61, right about there. We go through that. I'm looking for anywhere between 530 and 560 before we get a 10% correction. I do think that 10% correction is coming, just not yet. Maybe what do they call it? The saying "go away in May." Maybe that'll be true.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks in May.
Yeah, maybe that'll be.
May go away.
Maybe we get that 10% correction in May. If not, we have some weak months in the summer normally, right?
Right, because they don't say come back in June. They say come back in September.
June is weak normally, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well as May. So yeah, May, June, you're coming into these slower months, maybe August, September. I think before the year is up, we get that 10% correction. Professor Omar is near-term bullish. He's looking for as much as 600 before we get a major move down.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's turned pretty bullish. Of course, you know, the major move will be down, in his opinion, once we hit that 600. But we're not done. I mean, he apparently his crystal ball goes on for years. You know, he sees a big crash from about 600 to who knows where, and then a huge bear market melt up for many years. So he's bearish, he's bullish, he's bearish, he's everything. It's just you got to get the order right. And I'm definitely near-term bullish to 525. So I think we've seen pretty much the lows for now on SPY. And after 525, with a break of 525, probably maybe 560. That would be my upper limit before correction. If it does hit 560 and we correct 10%, that's okay. That's 505, right? It's not the end of the world. We won't like it. We're not saying we're going to like it. We never like a correction, but we could tolerate it. All right, so Bitcoin. I'm super bullish Bitcoin. I explained to you guys why, right? I'm going to, for the sake of clarity, I'll repeat myself again. I think Bitcoin, all the pundits are right about Bitcoin. They're all saying bullish Bitcoin. The halving hasn't been factored in enough. And what I'm thinking is that the wirehouses, the big brokerages, are going to get permission finally to buy the ETFs for their clients, so that the wealth managers can go ahead and buy as much as 1 or 2% in their clients' portfolios, and that would be a tremendous shot in the arm for Bitcoin. Supply and demand. It's all about supply and demand. So what have we here with Bitcoin? We have a high that we put in up around 75,000, right? What's the high? 73.6. 73.6. I think that high goes out, gets taken out this month, and we shoot up to the 80,000 level, get a new trading range between 75 and 80 for a while, and then continue on up to 95. And then again, together with the SPY, get a little retrace, maybe 10% from there. So if it goes to 95,000, you get 10% correction, you're looking at 85,000. Bitcoin will correct more, so 75,000. In other words, if the SPY corrects 10%, Bitcoin will correct 20. That's the nature of the beast. But for now, I'm very bullish. I think we're going to get a nice run, maybe into the summer, depending. Certainly by the end of the year, I think it's going to be over 100,000, factoring in everything. So I'm very high Bitcoin. I'm not so high MicroStrategy, however.
Have you still been shorting it?
I sold some yesterday. Yeah, I'm not shorting it. I'm just decreasing my position. Same idea. But at the same time, I'm adding to IBIT.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing now for over a month. Every show I keep repeating myself. That's what I'm doing.
Didn't IBIT take a bit of a hit the last day or two?
IBIT?
But it recovered. It's been toggling between 36-ish and 40-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next 36-ish, I'm gonna buy in, but Dr. J doesn't think it's gonna get there again.
I don't know if it's going to 36 just yet.
36-ish, 36 and a half, 36, whatever. Yeah. I'll buy in.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm thinking short-term strength in Bitcoin. But I could be wrong. What have we got here? It looks like a bit of a flag here, but I think MicroStrategy should very likely retest 1226, and if it goes below that, then it's trouble. 1226 has to hold on MicroStrategy. Right in there. If it doesn't hold, then you do have so you might have some support at the 50, but in the past it hasn't proven to be very good support. The 50 seems to be more or less ignored by Bitcoin. So you could get a collapse on MicroStrategy even while Bitcoin is going up. This stock is showing signs of weakness to me. I hope I'm wrong because I still have a substantial amount. And I'd rather be selling into strength than selling into weakness.
Hmm.
So I hope I'm not right. But I'm nervous about this one that for a long time. That's why I've been selling it. I figure out even if Bitcoin collapses, will collapse the same percent as Bitcoin. MicroStrategy might collapse twice at twice the pace, something like that. So if you lose 10% on Bitcoin, you might lose 20 or 25 on MicroStrategies. That would hurt, right? That's my
Sure.
point. I just want to do Mara because I've been advertising Mara. Mara is one of my favorite miners, but the trouble is none of the miners are doing well because of the halving that's coming. The bottom is not in because it went below support for the last 2 days, although finished the day okay. It looks like it may retest the significant low back here at 119, 2024. 1462 is possible on this
What?
one.
14?
1462, this low, right, that I just drew in. It's possible. Then again, you have the 200, which could serve as support at $16. So either $16 holds or 1492. You see you see there's a lot of support right in there at $15. 1490.
So, Dr. J, you mentioned a while ago, maybe a month ago, that the half day is happening on April 19th.
20th.
20th? Okay. So that's enough.
Approximately.
Yeah, I think it's on the 19th, which is a Friday. But anyway, so what do you think is going to happen that day?
I'm not sure what will happen on that day, but I think up until that day, the miners are going to be weak.
I see.
Now, Mara is better than a lot of the other miners because they do own a certain amount of Bitcoin that they don't sell, that appreciates. So they're making money on the run up on this portion of their Bitcoin. Holding it might prove better than selling it for this particular miner.
Right.
Right.
But they got to pay the rent. They got to pay the overhead, So, the miners are in business to mine and sell, not to hold, by and large. But Mara does have a decent position in Bitcoin, from what I understand. So that makes them stand out from the other miners. I think Riot has a good position as well. We wanted to look at Apple today.
Yes, please.
I added to my Apple. I couldn't help it because
Only yesterday I said it was a great buy, at that level.
Kamal had a great call on Apple yesterday.
That is some nice jump, huh?
Arjun agreed with that call. I bought it somewhere around here today, 171. I think I paid. I saw a lot of green, so I had to add to my Apple. I think I'm very pleased that I did. Obviously, I don't think it gives back more than half. If it gives back at all, look for 172. It may give back. 172 would be the place to add, in my opinion. Right, no, a little higher. Right there. Of course, our opinion strictly our own, not investment advice. Check with an advisor before acting. Correct, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Something I noticed on this chart, if you go to the 1 year, that every time it has this like a massive candle like this, it keeps going up.
Yeah,
You
but
look
that's not.
historically, every time it has a big, massive candle, a green candle, there's like a few days after that it keeps going
Yeah,
up.
some sort of honeymoon period.
That may be true for Apple, but it's also true for every stock, more or less, that has a big
Right.
candle.
So where do you see this going in the near future? Now let's go back to the 3 months.
I think resistance is not far above 177.
I thought
You
we were
might,
gonna get to 182. I thought that was like a number.
well, up here is 178.67. You got to be looking at this, and the gap fill would be up here at 179. Let's draw it in at 179.
I thought we did like a Fibonacci on it or something, and it was like
You
180.
probably did, but I don't remember what the Fibonacci number was. That looks like a reasonable target, though.
Okay.
178.67. If it breaks that, then it has a lot of potential to move up higher to the 100. Yeah, to this side, 185. But the first, it's got to overcome the 178 for major resistance. I think. I think it will, but that's where it's got to go. I bought some Tesla, the only Mag 7 I didn't own, so I bought some today.
Just to flesh out the collection.
I've been doing some buying today. Yesterday, Kamal and Arjan whetted my appetite by showing me the chart and saying, "Well, it looks like it definitely put in a bottom here at 159, and it's up and away, and all of that." I don't know if it's up and away, but good enough for me to nibble. So I know,
Tempting enough, I'd say.
yeah, I nibbled. I don't remember what I paid for it, to be honest. Probably, I don't know, maybe 173. It sounds familiar. But I bought a little, not a big position, just to start a position. As you know, I average in.
Right.
So I'm thinking if it pulls back to that 160 area, I'll be adding. Even if it doesn't, if it pulls halfway back, I'll be adding. If it goes up, I'll be adding anyway, some more. In other words, I'm averaging in from here on. And I added to my panw.
Yeah, it's worth looking at. I bought it up. I think I bought it around 130,
Uh-huh.
and I mean after the drop.
To
Oh, two. Yeah, right around there. Right, just under 300. Right around 380 or so. So I'm wondering if I shouldn't just double up a little bit.
I actually doubled my position today, yeah. I bought a nice quantity. It looks like it's breaking out to
Yeah,
me.
no, it certainly gave a nibble sign last week that we missed.
And there are also the fundamentals of teaming up with Google on an AI security package.
Ah,
So they're partnering up with Google. I like that. I mean, that's one of the reasons I bought more today.
yeah. No, I mean after that drop, it was definitely at bargain prices.
Yeah, and the other
If
reason
I
is
posted, I would
the
have
other reason is the chart is telling me to buy more. So I did.
Gotcha.
You got to listen.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
292 might be a little problem, but worry about it when we get there. Um,
Yeah, I wanted to look at Soundhound only because, for a while I was crowing about it, and now I'm crying about it.
yeah, I think they did an ATM. They're going to sell at the market. Does that sound right?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm back to about being even. Right when we were talking about for a while, we were talking about wow, look what it did for us.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's starting to show some nibble signs, maybe to get back in. Average.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought the buy side signal was right in the middle, 474. It went through that, which is not too good, but as long as it doesn't go below this green candle. This green candle is a low of 384. I would say that's the line in the sand. Actually, I would say the open. The open was 394. That would be my line
So
in the
what would you do? You would stay cautious at this point.
Uh,
You don't own this anymore, right?
no, I don't. But as long, it really should not go below this.
Yeah, right. So the way you're talking, there's still some downside potential left in your mind.
Yeah, you see, that's where I put I draw the line right there, 394.
Gotcha.
It could go down a little bit more to 4. But if you want to buy a little more and you believe in this company and you want to hold it, might be okay. But they are selling shares into the market.
Right.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not good.
Yeah. What was the other one we wanted to look at?
ibrx.
Which one?
ibrx. ibrx.
Oh yeah, I sold some of that today. I'm making money. I said, do I have to wait for the PDUFA? I said, there's no rule that says I have to.
That's true.
So I figured, the old Dr. J would have probably held. The new Dr. J has been burned so many times by holding into PDUFAs that I take the money and run.
Yeah.
I didn't
Makes
sell
sense.
all of it. I had three. I have 1/4 left of my original position, and I may keep that. I may keep that into the PDUFA date, which is the 23rd of this month, on ibrx. It's got a nice upward trend, but you got that PDUFA coming that could knock it down to 2, from 6 to 2, or from 6 to, I don't know, 6 to 20.
When was the last time that even a good PDUFA gave us a two bagger?
A long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Yeah. Even if it's approved, it may not do much. You're right.
So I think you were wise.
Yeah, I made
Almost the
it.
anticipation of the PDUFA is better than the actual thing.
I bought it at 4.25, 4.5, something like that. So made a few bucks. Can't blame me, right?
Right? Not at all.
The chart looks good. It's not the chart that made me sell. It's being a chicken that made me sell. I'm chicken.
I wish I was a chicken with SoundHound.
Yeah, well, I'm not in really too many speculative AIs.
Now, did you want to talk about NVIDIA? We haven't really looked at it in a while.
It had a really good day today.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, look at that.
NVIDIA.
Because it had been moderating for quite a while.
Nice day today. I would say the downward motion may be over for NVIDIA right through earnings. It's going to have great earnings, and it's going to go to over 1,000. How's that for a prediction?
Well, very optimistic.
But that's me.
NVIDIA is like the forbidden fruit, because some countries in the world are not allowed to buy NVIDIA chips, so they buy it through other countries.
Oh, I see.
So, like China, and some other countries are not allowed to buy NVIDIA chips.
Yeah,
What is all this
they-
talk
they-
about companies like Amazon making their own chips? They were on that about this. They were on about that this morning on CNBC. Is
yeah,
that anything to think about?
yeah, what they call that Axiom chip? I forgot the name.
Yeah, it's like, don't they have to at least deal with Intel and or Micron and or Nvidia to actually do that? Because they don't have the hardware for that.
Well, they have to buy the hardware from a company like Applied Materials,
Yeah,
AMA.
or TSM,
I don't know if it's TSM.
Taiwan Semiconductor.
ASML would be the
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
AMAT.
Now, do you have anything to say about Intel?
I think it's an old line company that's going to make a comeback over time. I think it's a hold.
Okay.
The whole semiconductor space has been really, really good.
Yeah, but not as of late. Even your SMCI, except for today, it's been sort of floundering.
Yeah, SMCI is not a semiconductor, but
Oh,
they,
microcomputer.
they
Okay.
make the racks. I don't know what they make. They make the servers. They use NVIDIA chips.
Yeah, again, moderating as of late.
Yeah, I was on a terrible slide and bounced today. Maybe the slide is over. This is another one that's going to 2025, in 2025. I mean, these are powerful, powerful companies with powerful charts. Didn't run from 250 to 200, under 100 it ran. I mean, a crazy run. I don't know where it ran from. And it's not done. Definitely not done running. NVIDIA is not done. This is not done. They may be done in a couple of years, but for now, I think that you can own these. SMCI and NVIDIA. I own them both. I'm happy. Made a lot of money with NVIDIA, made a lot of money with SMCI, making a lot of money with almost everything in my portfolio at this point.
Yeah, this is a better year for you.
Actually, last year was my best year, but I think I'm up 15% roughly since January. That's not that great.
So SMCI has been heading south for couple of weeks now, right? And today is it went up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe it's this the signal to buy.
There's your nibble sign, yeah. Although it's so expensive it's hard to call it a nibble. If you buy 5 shares, you're already in for $5,000.
You have a double bottom, close enough anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's a good buy now for short term.
It could come back down, test it again. Could. It's fine because as I said yesterday, on any weakness, I'm a buyer.
So a couple of viewers are asking to view Sava and ARDX.
Oh, wow.
Is Curtis one of them?
No.
Skyline. We haven't seen Skyline in a while.
Sava is just beautiful. Really
Yeah, Sava's been having a time.
behaving beautifully. The thing is, I don't think it's going too far, $30. And it's going to be hard for it to go past until we get data. So every time it gets up to that $30 level, we get a short attack.
Well, we did get good news about the space in general because there's a blood test that Lilly is involved in with that other company that's been in the Alzheimer's space, and so there's some. So I think it's going to be one of these things where the Alzheimer's stocks sort of benefit from that speculation.
And also, the IDMC committee gave it the green light for safety. They said, go ahead,
Which
continue.
one?
Raise Sava.
Oh, they gave Sava the green light. Well, wonderful.
Yeah,
That's great news.
yeah. All right, so Sava has got the fundamentals. It's, you know, when it goes up like this, you wonder if it's not from people in the trial that are leaking good news. Who knows? I'm happy that I own some Sava, you know, at this point. Happy I didn't give it all up. I intend to own more by the time the end of the year rolls around. Give it a roll of the dice. I think this one will be good. I hope. I know. I really think it will.
Crossed. Well,
More than
we want some progress here.
I really think this is going to be a good one. Maybe a 10 bagger from here. And the other one is ARDX.
ARDX. That's
Do you guys remember O.J. Simpson?
Yeah.
He just passed.
OJ passed away.
Yes.
If the glove fits, you must. If the glove don't fit,
If
you
the gloves
must.
don't fit, you got to quit.
You must quit.
Now he's meeting his creator.
Yeah. Well, you know, he got off kind of easy, didn't he?
Very much so.
Being sued for every cent you're worth is not necessarily a fun thing. But get what you get.
It's been giving back.
Yeah, again, they had I think, according to Kay's story, they had a PDUFA that was okay, and then it didn't show up in the price.
I'm not happy with this chart still, even though it had a little turnaround today, last 2 days. You can buy it if you want, if you like the fundamentals and so on, but you know, it may retest this 595 area. So I'd be nervous to go into this one, but if you own it, I don't think I'd be adding. I think I'd just hold.
Just stick with it.
Yeah, if I've been holding it this long, I'd still hold it. I'd hold it some more, at least until if it got below this candle, maybe I'd sell. That would be 646. If it drops below that, maybe I sell.
Yeah, that would be enough of a degradation.
Yeah, right now I'm not anxious to buy, but if I'm owning this, I'm not anxious to sell either. And that wraps it up, right?
Yep.
Good show. Thanks for coming, Kay, Indonesia Skyline, Scott, and others, because
Yeah, we can do Luna for Scott the next time.
I gave no notice. You know, I threw it up on Stock Twits 5 minutes before the show. Adios, amigos. Ciao. Have happy trading. See you next week. See you. Bye.